admission withdrawn. Guys, I can't describe the emotions that ran through me at that point. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's B here, and if you're just in this space for the first time, thank you for tuning in. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm sure you're gonna love it here, guys. Yeah, so this video is a story time. As you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing the story on how my UK school admission was withdrawn even after I paid. Yeah, it happened. Okay guys, so I'm just going to give you a backstory. I don't want to assume that everybody knows how it works when you apply for an admission in the UK and everything. So I'm going to give you a backstory. So basically the way it works is you're going to apply to the school. Once you get the admission, once you're offered an admission, there's a sum of money depending on the school. There's an amount you're required to pay. That's like a deposit to the school, and once you make that deposit, then the school issues you a CAS. So this CAS document is what you're going to use to get your visa from the visa office. So without this CAS, you cannot get your visa. So basically, you apply, you get the offer, you pay the deposit. Some school even go ahead to do what we call pre-CAS interview. That's an interview you get to do before the school issues you a CAS. The interview is just basically to be sure that you have all the required documents like your proof of funds and everything you need before you get to the visa stage, so that when you get to the visa stage you already have everything and the school is sure that most likely you're going to get your admission. So in my case, my school did the pre-CAS interview before the CAS was issued. For those that have been in this process before, whether to UK, to Canada, America, any country, you would agree with me that when you are in this process, like especially when you've gotten to the stage of getting an admission and everything, all your life, like everything you do basically revolves around that decision of relocating. So there's so many things that you would put on hold. There's so many things that you would want to do in a hurry. I don't know if you get me. Like, so many decisions that you'll be making will be around the fact that you know that you'll be relocating soon. So in my case, it was the same. I already got the admission, and in my case it was very funny because when I got this admission, I kind of like forfeited the other admissions I had gotten because I kind of weighed my options. I'm like, okay, I want to go for this school. And the shocking thing is that this school I'm talking about is actually the school I'm in currently. Yes. So I got the admission, I got offered the admission, accepted the offer. So another thing I missed, when you get offered the admission, you are expected to accept the offer. After accepting the offer, that's when you now make your deposit payment. So I accepted the offer and I went ahead to make the deposit. I did that and everything was good. So after that process, like I said, my school usually does a pre-CAS interview before they issue you CAS. So I made my payment and I was just chilling, waiting, doing my thing. And like I said, once you're in this phase, most likely every other thing you do, every other decision you want to make revolves around the fact that you know you're going to be leaving the country soon. And that was the case for me. So that day, I think it was a Tuesday, I can't really remember right now, I received an email from the school saying that, there's been a lot of people, a lot of influx of students that have been granted admissions. And that being said, if you've not made a payment, if you've not made payment for your deposit yet, don't bother making this payment. Your admission will be deferred to September. So mine was January intake, which is this January I resumed. They said it was going to be moved to, you will have to defer to September, that if you've not made your deposit yet, don't bother paying anymore. They've had enough people make payments already. So you're going to be moved to September after you defer. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I don't have to bother about this because I already made my payments, right? And if you know, the way Form A works in Nigeria, the FX, if you know how it works. So it's not an instant thing, it takes a process. But I had already logged it, and fortunately for me, the Friday before that week, I got this mail on a Monday or Tuesday, but the Friday before, the previous week, I already received a confirmation from the third party I used to make the payment. So there's this third party that my school tells us to make payment through. They sent me a confirmation to say they had received my payment and passed it to University of Bradford. However, after 24 to 48 working hours, I'll be able to get my telex copy, which is like a receipt, as a proof of payment. So when I got the email, a part of me was like, I already paid and I already got confirmation that they've passed the money to school. But at the end of the day, because I hadn't gotten that telex copy, which is like a receipt, a proof that the school has actually received my payment, a part of me was like, are you sure that I will not be amongst the people that they are going to move to September after I've put so many things on hold, after I've started rushing so many things? Like, what's going to be my faith? So I just said, okay, let me even go check my portal. So when you're applying, there's usually an applicant portal. So I'm like, let me go check my applicant portal to even see what's up. And lo and behold, I open up the portal and I saw admission withdrawn. Guys, it's funny now, but at that time I couldn't even, I can't describe the emotions that ran through me at that point. I'm like, what? Admission with, that was like my only what's it called, that was my only choice at that time. Other options I had forfeited, and I'm like, what? And this was like in September, October, thereabout, and school is supposed to resume in January. So you can imagine the shock on my face when I saw admission withdrawn. I was like, where am I going to start from? Obviously, at that time, it was too late to start applying to other schools for January again. Most schools had already closed admissions for that year. Even the ones that were open were for like maybe the next year, June, September, right now, I can't even describe it. Like, I was in shock. What? Admission withdrawn after making payment, after I was like, God, where do I begin from? I called up my husband. He was at work because I used to work from home then, so I was at home. I called him. He was like, what are we going to do? I'm like, I don't know. This is also a testimony, right? Because I was like, God, at this point you cannot forsake me. Like, what is happening? What is going on? Okay, so like I said, when I checked my school portal, it said admission withdrawn, but there was a caveat to it. It now said, if you still want this admission, or if you are still interested, something like that, reach out to the admissions team. They put the email there and all of that. I said I received that email on a Tuesday. Then that prompted me to check my applicant portal. That same Tuesday was the day that the third party we used for that payment now sent me the telex copy. So I said on Friday, the week before, the previous Friday, they already told me that they have received my payment. So if you're familiar, for Nigerians, if you're familiar with Paystack, it's just something like that. So the payment goes through Paystack, then Paystack delivers the money to the business. So that's the same thing. This third party too is similar to what Paystack does. They collect payments for the school and other organizations, then they process the money and it's sent to the school. So okay, right before that, I sent an email, but I wasn't getting any response. So I began to call them. I called the first time. The person I spoke with said that it's not their team that handles stuff like that they're going to pass my details to the right team and all of that. That was the first person. The second person as well, I called another, like 2 days after again. The person I spoke to, that one did not even understand what I was saying basically, and the conversation ended like that. So this period when all of this was happening was when the October Hallelujah Challenge started. I think I've only missed maybe 2 or 3 Hallelujah Challenge so far since it started in 2017. I used to always partake in the Hallelujah challenges every time it happens, and this time around it wasn't an exception. I tuned in, I prayed about it. I was like, God, you know how I want this, you know how I've planned, you know what I've done, please let it happen. Let this decision be overruled. I don't know what is going on. I was just confused, and I was praying. And the funny thing is, in my marriage, my husband is usually the man of faith, like always telling me, don't worry, God will sort it out, you know. Me, not like I also believe in God, I'm a woman of faith as well, but usually I'm the shaky one. I'll be like, oh, what if this, what if that? Even after praying, I'll still be worrying. But my husband is always like, no, those who've handed it over to God. But this time around, the reverse was the case. My husband was the one thinking like, oh God, what do we do? In fact, my husband was like, okay, let's start applying to other schools for next year and all of me. I was like, never. I've gone through the hassle of applying to this school. I've done the needful. God will turn things around. I'm not doing that. Like, I was the one that was even like, no, I was informing Bado. Like, it was so funny. I still used to tease him about it. Like, so I sent an email. I copied these people. I attached a copy of my telex, attached that. I attached my offer letter from the school. I shall attach everything attachable and explain my plight to them. Sent the email, and I got a response from the account team, and the account team only confirmed in their response, they confirmed that they had received my payment. But apart from that, nothing else was said, like, okay, we've received your payment, we're going to reinstate your admission or something. Nothing was said. They just said that they can confirm that my money was received. And obviously now looking back and thinking about it, the account department would obviously not be able to reinstate the admission, because I doubt they have the power to do that. They can only confirm payments and all of that, and that's what they did. I was low-key worried, but at the same time I just had this trust and belief in God, because I told God, I reminded him of some covenant seeds I had sown. I reminded him of some things. I reminded him about the process that brought us to where we were at that point, and why we're making this decision of coming to the UK and all of that. And I just basically just talked to God and trusted him that he was going to turn things around and make a way. And then I think about another 2 days after or so, I was just in the middle of work, and I was like, let me call up these people again. Picked up my phone. I called the same number I'd called twice previously that weren't able to help me. I called the third time, and you know when you've been receiving the same like a response that is not helpful all this while, if you are calling that kind of number or department again, somewhere in your heart you already know the response you are going to get, but you just want to try for trying sake. You get that kind of thing. So I now called the lady that picked it up that day, bless her soul. I spoke with her and I just explained my dilemma to her. And while I was talking, I'm sure she could sense that this person is tense and all of that. She was like, oh, it's not a problem. That's not a problem. She opened my profile and she was like, oh, she can see my profile, that she's just going to reinstate the admission right now, that it's not a problem, it's not a big deal, that my payment has been received, everything. And at that moment, I was just silent, because I'm like, I've called the same number twice, and the people I spoke with could not even help me. They were just, one said it was going to pass me to another department to help. The other one didn't even understand what I was saying. So how come somebody in this same department is now saying, oh, it's not a problem, she's just going to do it right now? I just know it was God. Anyways, I know it was God, because I can't still understand how that happened, but I know it was God. So she just said, oh, she's gonna do it now, that in the next 1 hour I should go back to my portal, that everything should be fine now, this da. I'm like, I had to ask her again, that are you saying that you are going to do it. She said, yeah, it's not a problem, that she has even done it now, but it will reflect on my portal in like an hour. I was like, okay. I was still doubting, but I didn't want to be a doubting Thomas. I was just like, okay, no problem, thank you so much, I appreciate you. She was like, oh, it's all good, have a nice time, this, that. I was very cheerful, and we ended the conversation. After the call, I was still doubting, like, are you sure this lady is not just giving me boo-boo? Like, she just wants me to go, because obviously I don't know her. If I call again, I can't remember her name. So I'm just like, anyways, let's see. So about 10-15 minutes later, now I was eager, like I couldn't wait. I just said, let me go and check. Even though she told me 1 hour, I was like, let me check. I just checked, and boom, the withdrawal thingy, the withdrawal clause that was on the profile before, eliminated, everything gone. My admission, my profile was back to normal. I could view my everything there, as in it was just back. I was like, what? I just started, in fact, I think in the whole journey of coming from my MSc, and that was like my eureka moment. That was like I did it moment. I was so, even when I got the admission and everything, I don't think I was that excited like that day. I was screaming, I was happy. I picked up my phone, I called my husband. I was like, hey, they've done it. Like, I was so happy. And yeah, and here we are today. And yeah, so I just wanted to share with you guys how that happened. And just in case somebody here is watching, or you know somebody who has a similar issue, please advise them to do what I did. Send them an email, state your facts, just be on their neck, so to say. Call them, mail them, do all you can to make sure that it is rectified, especially because I understand how much of a hassle it is to go through this process, mentally, financially, and every ramification. Like I said, it's just your whole life just practically revolves around that decision at that time of your life, because everything you are doing, you know, oh, I'll soon leave, so you're just here and there, and everything you are doing is focused on that decision you've made. So I can understand how crazy it would be, how when you've done all of that and from nowhere you just see that your admission was withdrawn or something, even when you've done the necessary things you are expected to do. So just in case you know somebody, or you yourself watching, you in this situation, I wish you all the best. And I promise you it can only get better. Do not forget to pray about it. Do not forget to trust in God. Do not also forget to be sure that that is where God wants you to be at that time of your life, or at this time of your life. I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have friends and family members that are not watching my channel, why? Please share my videos with them. Thank you so much. Till next time. Bye.